Okay, hello everybody. My name is Lexi. I've worked here at Double Diamond Hill Ranch for about 4 years now, and I've helped over 300 students reach their riding goals and their training goals through horses. So this is my little buddy Biscuit. If you guys were here 2 weeks ago, you know that we were trying to load him up in the trailer because he's having a really hard time with our new trailer here behind us. Part of that we think is because he's having some vision problems. We're still looking into that with our vet. He's got an appointment in a couple of months with him to further look into that. But he has what we call moon blindness. And so that means that he has a hard time differentiating between the shadows and the light. He's having a hard time adjusting to that. So the trailer, it's pretty dark in there sometimes, but because it's metal, it gets shiny when the light comes in. So there's lots of shadows for him to see in there, and there's lots of light reflecting. So we think that's why he's having a hard time with it. So we're just taking some time now. I mean, he's an older guy, so he's gonna start having health problems at some point in his life sooner than later. So we're taking the time now to try to get him used to it, because he is gonna have to go into the trailer for any vet visits, emergency visits. If we take him up trail riding again, he's gonna have to get in there. So we're trying to take the steps in training now while he can still see really well versus later on. Does that make sense to everybody? Perfect.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How can you tell, like, how much they can, like, is there something that the vet can do to see, like, how much of their sight's left?
Yeah, that's a good question. So she asked if there's a way for us to tell how much he can still see. I'm sure there is, just like people. And like I used to work as a vet tech, and so I have quite a bit of knowledge regarding this. So usually if you go to a specialty clinic, they can look pretty in depth with how much they can see and whatnot. That gets pretty expensive, and the hard part is it's not really going to change what we're asking. So typically, as long as it's not affecting them too much, we don't typically look into it very much. Part of it goes into, like, and I'm mostly speaking about the clientele that I saw when I worked in the clinic. Most people don't want to spend that much on their pets because it does add up very quickly. You think like how expensive our doctor visits without insurance is. It's about the same with pets. And so a lot of people don't want to look into it, especially where their pets' lives are a little bit shorter than ours, or significantly shorter depending on the animal. So as of right now, we're just training Biscuit. We're going to keep going. The vet didn't see anything like too drastic with his eyes, which is part of why his appointment is later rather than sooner. If he saw something very significant that he was really worried about, we would have taken him in a lot sooner and been like, okay, we need to figure out what's going on now. But the vet wasn't too concerned with it. So with his next vaccine and dewormer appointment, that's when we're going to go in and look in a little bit closer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start by lunging him around for a minute just to get him cued into me, get him respecting me. Going back real quick, last week, for those of you who weren't here, I went in the arena and I worked on what we call the sending exercise, which I'll show you in just a minute as well. And I worked on going over the bridge because he has a hard time with the bridge as well. So I took the time to teach him the sending exercise. I shouldn't say teach him, but revisit the sending exercise with him. He already knew it, and he knew it pretty well. And then doing the bridge. If you guys missed that, you guys can log on to, we call it School. It's like an online community. So you guys can log on to your school accounts and go back and look at those videos so you can get a little more context as to what I'm doing and get more context as to how to teach that. We're just going to review it real quick because our main priority today is the trailer. And then yesterday I worked with him some more, and I was able to get his front feet in the trailer towards the end. So my goal today is to get his front end in the trailer more willingly. He was still kind of jumpy, still kind of skittish, but I just want him to kind of relax around it a little bit more. So I'm going to ask him to go out on a circle around me. I'm going to hold my lead rope up, and I'm going to hold it kind of loose so that he can just make a nice big circle. He's kind of distracted over there, so I might give him a little more pressure. Good boy. And ask him to do a nice light trot. I don't usually make him trot too much on the gravel because they kind of slide around a little bit sometimes, but nice and relaxed like that, I'll have him do it. Good boy. And we'll do a directional change. He's very good at this. We do this a lot with him. I just want to make sure that he's cued in and listening to me before we try the trailer. So I'm asking him to go a little bit faster by raising my hand up and pushing my body towards him. If he doesn't go, then I smooch at him, which you listen that time. And then if he doesn't go while I'm smooching at him, I'm gonna take my stick and string and spank it behind him. If he were really naughty, I'd take that stick and string and spank his bum. He's pretty good, and so most of the time I don't need to do that. We're getting a little close to you guys, so I'm gonna bring him back over this way just a bit. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Marie, how much longer do you think you'll be? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna move his hindquarters around now. Again, just another reason to get him cued in and listening to me. So horses can move their front legs and their hind legs independently of each other. So what I'm gonna ask him to do is I'm gonna ask him to plant these front feet, and he's gonna cross this inside front leg in front of his outside hind leg and cross over. So he'll be doing a really tight circle. Sometimes it gets kind of hard on this gravel, like the gravel moves under them. So if he wiggles just a little bit, I'm just gonna ask him to plant that foot again by gently pulling on my lead rope a little bit more. Good boy. And then just like us, there's only so far he can twist without moving both of his feet. So he's gonna have to move this outside front foot just a little bit so that he can continuously move. It's kind of getting in my space there. So that he can continuously move. He'll kind of wiggle it just a little bit. So I'm gonna come stand pretty close to his rib cage here. And then I'm gonna ask him to tip his nose towards me. Then I'm gonna lean forward at his hip right here. That way I'm putting my energy at his hip and his bum to push over. He's doing it pretty good. He kind of takes a misstep every now and again, but he's planting that front foot really well. So then to let him know he did his job well, I'm gonna relax my lead rope and my body. I'm gonna rub him with my stick and string here. Good boy. So these are all maneuvers that we need for our sending exercise, which is the exercise that we'll use when we start loading him up in the trailer. So that's why we're doing them now, is to get him nice and, we call it supple in the horse world. It just means he's listening to me with the minimal amount of pressure. Good boy. Good boy.
What happens when they do that is they're really giving to us, saying, if I cross over my hind leg, I know I'm in a dangerous position if I have to run. This shuts me down, cross over this. So anytime they do that, it's a big indication that they're watching you, and then that they're listening. So you see, the one direction is better than the other.
Just let me know when you're ready to grab your stuff.
Like as you imagine, if I had to run, somebody started
You're okay. Good boy. Okay, so you're good. Always add in, please. So I'm gonna do the sending exercise now. So I'm gonna stand right here and I'm gonna send him in between me and the trailer. And then he's gonna yield his hindquarters to look at me. And then I'll ask him to come over this way. He'll yield his hindquarters over that way. And he'll just keep yielding and walking in between me and the trailer. And then I'm gonna close up just a little bit. Thanks, Tyson. And make the space a little bit smaller so he gets used to a smaller area while he's going into the trailer, or before he goes into the trailer. Good boy. So as his tail crosses over, I'm gonna pull towards my belly button. And he's kind of in my space, so I'm gonna back him up just a bit. So as his tail comes over, I'm gonna pull my lead rope towards my belly button and ask him to do that yield. I might take my string off of my stick and string because it's kind of coming way, way out. The stick and string's nice because it creates a lot of space and a lot of reach, but sometimes when we're doing these tighter maneuvers, it's a little bit harder to use and handle. Good boy. Boy. Good boy. I'm gonna kind of back him out of my space again. There we go. Good boy. So that one was really good. So I'm gonna take my stick and rub him with it. What that does is it just tells him my stick isn't there to hurt him, and it's not there to always mean go. It's his release in this instance. So then he learns to listen to my body a little bit better too. Good boy. That was a good one right there. That was a good one. So we'll do like 3 more good sending, and then we'll move on to the trailer. And I'm gonna kind of tighten up here just a little bit and make my area just a little bit smaller. Good boy. Good boy. All right, so I'm gonna move over to the trailer over here. You guys are good to stay in the shade. I bet it feels pretty good over there. But then too, if he backs out, it gives me a little bit of space. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send him into the trailer. So I'm gonna use the same motion that I just was doing for the sending exercise. If he decides that he wants to back out, I'm gonna let him back out, but I'm gonna make him back up further than what he's gonna wanna do. That way he learns that if he backs up, one, he better commit to it. And also, it's gonna be a lot more work than if he just goes into the trailer. I also might take breaks and come back out here and yield his hindquarters around or lunge him around like I did before, so that he works a little bit harder out here than when he gets in the trailer. So ideally, what's gonna happen is he's gonna learn that the release is up in the trailer and he's gonna have to work out here away from the trailer. So when we very first start, I let him sniff it, I let him just hang around it for a minute, and then I'm gonna ask him to go in. Right now he's pretty relaxed, like he's got his head down, his ears they're kind of moving around as he's listening, but they're not super crazy. And we call it a soft eye. He's just nice and relaxed around his eyeballs here. He's taking pretty slow blinks. So I'm gonna ask him to turn towards the trailer. And if he wants to sniff it, that's great, he can sniff it, like right there. I love that he acknowledges it. Good boy. Then I'll just ask him to come back to it if he leaves. Good boy. He willingly took a step forward, which you guys who were here 2 weeks ago know that's huge. Like, he was not very willing to step forward. So now I'm gonna retreat. I'm gonna come out here just a little bit and we'll turn around and we'll go try it again. We'll just do this a couple of times and then we're gonna change what we're asking because we don't want him to get too complacent. We don't want him to get too complacent with where he's at. He needs to continuously be learning. Good boy. So yesterday at the end of the session, I let him just sit here like this for probably about 10 minutes, and he was licking and chewing afterwards, and he was just nice and relaxed. He almost took a nap in here, right about like this. Good boy. That was at the very end of the session, so it was afterwards. Good boy. He kind of squished me, so I'm gonna push him over just a little bit. So now I'm gonna ask him to take a step. He took a step, so now I'm gonna rub him with my stick and string. I still want him facing the trailer while he gets his release. So I'm gonna keep him right about here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and ask again. He's thinking, so I'm gonna let him think. If he backs up, I'm just gonna keep asking him with my stick and string in my body to get back in that trailer. So as long as he's got some forward motion or he's at least thinking about getting it, I'm not gonna engage my stick and string. But when he starts backing up like right about there, that's when I'm gonna engage it just a little bit. And I might smooch at him just a hair too. Good boy. He's sniffing it, so I'm gonna rub him again because he tried to lift this foot up and then he could kind of notice that it was gonna bonk it, and so he got a little worried there. But he's not flying back, so I wanna make sure that I'm rewarding him. Good boy. So he's continuously trying, which is what I want. Good boy. He's kind of getting in my space, so I might push him over just a bit. Good boy. So now he looks a little worried. He's got his ears back. His eyes are a little bit bigger. He's blinking pretty fast. He's holding his breath a little bit. But I'm still gonna reward him even though he's a little bit nervous because he tried for me and he put that foot up in there. And he didn't freak out and fly back like he was doing 2 weeks ago. Still kind of thinking there. He's getting in my space just a bit. Good boy. You thought a little bit harder. There you go. Good boy. So as soon as he starts putting that foot up in there more consistently, that's when I'm going to move on to the next step and keep asking him to put both feet in there. He was getting pretty good towards the end of our session yesterday where he'd put both feet in. He was immediately backing up, but he wasn't flying out of the trailer anymore. He was just kind of like sliding out instead of freaking out and like tearing across the parking lot, which is what he was doing a couple weeks ago. Oh boy. I don't know if you guys can see it super well, but I'm just rubbing my stick and string here on his shoulder. It's an easy spot for me to get to, and it just lets him know, again, that the stick and string isn't here to make him worried, but it also gives him a little pet and a little break after he puts his foot up there. Good boy. Good boy. I don't know if you guys notice it, but he's more willing to put his foot up in the trailer than he was before. So as soon as he holds it, like right there a little bit better, and he does it consistently, that's what I'm looking for. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, so now I'm gonna change what I'm asking, and I'm gonna ask him to put both feet in the trailer now, okay? Good boy. Yes, you're so brave. And I might actually walk him away from it before we do that, just to give him a little like mental break of like, all right, you tried. We can walk away for a minute now. But I'm just gonna do a nice small loop and come right back to it. That way he's not forgetting about it. Good boy. 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 Good boy. Good boy. You're okay. You got it. Good boy. So he's still thinking it through. He's still willing to put that foot up, but he's not very willing to put both feet up. So right here, I'm gonna back him up a little bit. I won't let him back into you guys, but I'm gonna make him really hustle his feet too and make him really work. And I might change how I'm holding my stick so I can kind of swing it at him. There we go. Good boy. So I let him kind of push up into me a little bit, but I took that stick and string and changed how I was holding so I could smack him a little bit better. That way he doesn't plow me over. Good boy, that was nice. Good boy. There you go. So I just advocated for my space there when we were backing up so that I'm not getting plowed over, because I said this a couple weeks ago, but he's gonna win the battle every time. He's gonna win the battle every time when it comes to muscle versus muscle. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So I started tapping his bum there just a little bit, just because he was getting complacent with the pressure. Good boy. He says, I got the nervous poops now. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. You thought about it. Good boy. So even though he's not getting both feet up in the trailer every time, I'm still rewarding him because he's putting in some effort and putting in some try to getting up in there. That's what I want. We've got to take baby steps in asking him to go up. We got to kind of break it up for him so he's not freaking out. He's not hurting himself, hurting other people. It'd be like asking a toddler to take home a college student's math homework. It's going to be hard and that's going to be frustrating for a toddler, right? It's going to be like, Mommy, I have no idea what this says. I don't even know what 2 + 2 is yet. So we've got to let him figure out what 2 + 2 is. Then he can figure out calculus later. Good boy. Good boy. He's getting kind of close to me again, so I might ask him to slide over this way just a bit. That way I'm a little bit safer. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. I don't know if you guys can see it from where you're at, but he's changing feet when he's going to get in. He's putting his right one in a little more frequently, but when I keep my pressure there, he's starting to put his right foot in instead of his left one. So he's trying to problem solve and figure out what's going to get him the release and what's going to get him up into that trailer. So I'm just going to keep my pressure the same because I don't want him learning to just switch feet and then that's when he gets his release. I want him to figure out that it's the 2 feet that will get the release. And then I'm keeping his head tilted towards me. I don't want him looking out there because horses will follow their nose. And so if he's looking out that way, he's going to try to walk out that way. If he were to get scared or spook or decide to walk off, whatever it may be, I want to know exactly where he's going to go, and I don't want to have his butt swinging out at me. Because then he can't see me super great. Oh boy, that was a nice and calm walk up. I love that. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. He's kind of being goofy. He'll stick that foot way up in there, and then it's so far in that he keeps bumping his other foot right here on this rubber. So then it's kind of freaking him out. Good boy. Good boy. I didn't even have to use the stick and string that time. Good boy. So now I'm going to keep asking him until he puts that other foot up there. Good boy.
You guys see the mental difference that's there? Like earlier, he's a little more jumpy back. It looks the same if you stare at his feet, but if you look at the whole body, there's a lot more of a calm nature about it. He hates that noise when he puts the foot in there, and now he like puts it up, and there's not like an instant like kind of reaction, right? So if I were a betting man, I'd say you got about 15 more tries before he just puts both feet in because of the way his mentality is. No, that's
Good boy. Oh boy.
Like, do you think the reason that he's putting his feet so far in is because of the shadows?
Potentially. It's all one shadow in here. Like there's not a change in the light where his feet are going. But like right about here where my foot is, I don't know if you guys can see underneath him, but that's where the shadow starts. And so that's maybe why is he's maybe like, he doesn't understand that it's the same depth. Like it's not going to get higher or lower. So that might be why he's doing that. Good boy. He also might be kind of worried about this rubber because it's also a different color. You got a bug on you? I'll help you. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. Good boy. So he did it the first try that time, which was great. So now, come walk away one more time. Good boy. That one was really good. I didn't even like start to ask him and he just kept moving up to it. That was really nice on his end. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So brave. So brave. Good boy. Good boy. So now I'm going to ask him to start taking a step in. I don't think I'm going to get him to the point where he'll get his back feet in tonight, but I bet I can get him to take a good step in. Usually what happens is they're willing to take steps into it, and then when it comes to getting these back feet in, that's what gets them worried. Good boy. Because they can't see their back feet super great unless they're like turning to look at them. Really, they can't see their feet in general unless they turn a little bit to look at them. But he's got to figure out exactly where to put his feet as he gets up. So I think I can get him to take a couple steps in. We'll see if I can get him to get his whole body in. Good boy. Good boy. That was pretty good. So he like tipped his nose down, which is why I gave him that release that time, even though he didn't take his steps forward. He's a little more willing to think about keeping forward. Good boy. All right. There we go. Now that door's moving, so now he's getting worried again. There you go. Good boy. So I don't know if you guys can hear it. The door's wiggling in here now because he like threw himself up in there. So now he's getting a little worried again. So that's why I gave him another release there. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. So he put that second foot down really nicely, and then he kind of leaned forward like he was going to think about it. There you go. And I might climb up here so I can get my arm in a little bit better. Oh, you're gonna do it? Okay. No. There you go. He's like, I'm still not so sure about this, you guys. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Ah, good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
I have another question. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Ask away.
Would you want to do this on try loading him from his other side as well because they have sitting reins?
My answer. Oh. Oh boy. Okay, so the question was, do I want to try loading him from both sides? My answer is always yes. I will do everything from both sides. You get some people out there who are like, traditionally we do everything from the left-hand side with horses, and it goes back to the cowboys' times and the knights' times. They carried their weapons on the left so they could draw with their right. So they never wanted their weapon towards their horse or going up and over their horse. But especially in this trailer, we have hookups on both sides, and so sometimes I do need him to go on that other side. So instead of loading him up, tying him up, and then being in between him and either the wall back there or another horse, I'd way rather step on that side, load him up, and tie him up, and already be towards the outside of the trailer. So I'm not walking around their bums, going under them, stuff like that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So like when Ranger got loose this last weekend, told you that story. We had a horse get loose up in Kaysville when we were doing some 4-H stuff up at the arena. And so I had to drive the trailer down to go pick him up. We had so many horses in here and so much equipment that we had to zigzag them a little bit, because up here next to their necks is a lot thinner than down at their bum. So we can fit a lot more horses if we zigzag them in here in the trailer. And so we had them zigzagged, and I had to get Bowie up here in the last spot. Yeah, it was Bowie. And so he had to learn, I shouldn't say learn, he already knew how to do it. I had just never done it with him. But he had to jump up in the trailer while I was out, and he had to yield his hind end around so that he could get in and have enough space to get in. Because Maverick's bum was like right about here, and his head needed to be here. So he had to get his front end up first and then yield his hind end up into the trailer. So it's much easier because I could do everything on both sides to get him up in here. So my answer is yes, do it on both sides. Good boy. You're okay. Good boy. That was much better. So the trailer was like right about here at his hip. So he got in a little bit more that time. Good boy. Oh, you're okay. Good. So I'm kind of letting him take a couple steps back now because I trust him enough not to go flying back. Like, he's given into my pressure really nicely. So I'm letting him take those steps back without making him back up. The key is that I'm keeping my forward pressure the same to encourage him to keep walking forward. Good boy. Yeah, you want to sniff it? Sniff away. Good boy. Good boy. There we go. So same thing there. He ducked his head down and was sniffing down at the bottom. Even though he went back out pretty quickly, he was willing to lower his head. A lower headset usually means that they're much more relaxed. They might be looking at something that's kind of wigging them out. But if they're not like being reactive and running away from it, I let them just sit there and look at it. Because I don't want to be choking up on them and making them freak out when they're doing that. You think like if somebody's scared and then you grab the back of their shirt and you're like, look at that thing that's scaring them. You're probably going to be scaring them more, and you're not going to be doing them a good service. So I try not to choke up on them if they're willing to try and look at something and figure something out. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, good boy. You're okay. There you go. He kind of wanted to fly. Good boy. He kind of wanted to fly back on that one. So I let him go back a little, but then I asked him to come towards it, and that's when I gave him his release. He's also coming up in here without me doing anything. So I'm just gonna sit here and let him do it for a minute. Good boy. I love that he's willing to get in here without me even having to ask. That's awesome of him. Like, that's huge. Good boy. Now he's like, oh, you moved. Good boy. That time he was willing to stay in here a little bit longer. So I'm gonna ask him to move his shoulder around. He's getting a little close for comfort. Ah, good boy. Just think about it that time. So good boy. I don't let them up into my bubble when I'm working them very often. If I'm releasing them and they're nice and relaxed, I'll let them in my bubble a little bit more. But where he's kind of nervous and I know this is something he doesn't like, I make sure he's out of my bubble so that he's not freaking out and squishing me. Like, I have a little bit of wiggle room if he decides to jump anywhere. I can either jump forward, jump back, go around the corner if I really need to. I probably don't need to ever do that, but better safe than sorry. That way I always have an escape route, because they are prey animals. Got a wasp. Everything's scary for them in life, because they think everything wants to eat them. And you think, like, this is a pretty tight space up in here. Horses, they don't live in caves. Predators live in caves. There's bears, there's cougars, all sorts of stuff. So in the wild, in the natural world, they're not going to go in caves. Like, that'd be really weird for a horse to do that. Boy. Oh, good boy. So that right hind willingly came up a little bit closer, so I loved that. Good boy. Oh, good boy. So brave. Oh my goodness. So that time he hesitated up in here, and his first reaction wasn't just to back up, so that's why I'm rewarding him there. Good boy. There you go. So brave. Oh my goodness. So right there, he's getting a little close to me again. Good boy. Oh my goodness. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, so I'm gonna get him up in here and hesitating a couple of times, and then I think we'll probably call that good for today. Because that was a lot of progress today. Good boy. He's nice and relaxed going up into it. He's more relaxed backing out of it. He's willing to stay in here. Whoa, did that one scare you? There you go, good boy. Ah, there we go. So I kind of let him just jump out because I'm not going to try to hold him up in there, but good boy. So then I'm going to walk him back over here. I'm going to try it one more time. I might be pushing my block, but we're going to try it one more time. Now he's wigged himself out. Good boy. All right. Now he's wigging himself out again. He's like, oh my gosh, I got in there. There you go. Don't run me over. Good boy. There you go. Now you wigged yourself out, huh? So now I'm kind of pushing him a little bit. Good boy, because I'm like, well, I saw you get up. I know you're capable of it now. Good boy. You're all right. Oh, so scary. Hey. What was that? What was that? I can't hear you. Okay.
running all the way.
Yeah.
But now he's like, back to square one.
Uh-huh.
And because the pressure has been consistent, he's like, I'm not getting any relief when I'm doing anything yet. So because he's retrogressed so much, if you can get his front up there and paused again, give him a release on that to be like, remember, this is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Because like what you see is he's starting to get out of the thought process.
Uh-huh.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good boy. There you go. There you go. Good boy. Now he's kind of getting close to me again, so I'm going to drive him away again. Good boy. Good boy. He kind of fell out there and he was like, oh, okay. That way a little bit. Thank you. Good boy. You got it. Good boy. Good boy. He's a good boy.
Oh, goodness.
You gotta stay in here now, silly. Oh boy. There you go. There you go. You thought about it. Come on. All right, I might call that good. I feel myself getting frustrated.